And
Hi,
welcome back.
coconuts.
Welcome back to Lantern Light Adventures. Tonight we are playing an Empty Dream, a Girl by Moonlight game. My name is Archangelic, and tonight I am going to be the director. Um, so let's go ahead and have you introduce yourselves, coconuts.
Oh God, I think it's me first.
It is you first.
Because we're
Yes.
going in true alphabetical order. My name is Chantel. My pronouns are they, them. And I play Winifred Niff Lewison. His pronouns are she, her. And in transcendent form, I am Concordia. Pronouns they, them. Um, I am playing the harmony.
Woo. Okay, because it is alphabetical order, am next. Hello, everyone. I am Elle, and today I will be playing the lovely Cary Milan Evander Lyall, aka Lykos, who is the outsider playbook and is currently very upset at capitalism and at one of their friends for being a cog in the wheel of capitalism. And not just a cog, several gears as well.
I'm a
Because we're
damn
going
lever, baby.
since we're going in alphabetical order, I'm next. I'm Dozens. Pronouns are he, they. I am playing girl scientist and time traveler Janus Quinn. Pronouns she, her. Transcended form is Cronos. Pronouns it's.
All right, alphabetical order. So hello friends. My name is Siliqui Jaden. You can find me most places online as FatSapphicBro. I use they them pronouns, and I will be playing the unlikely hero Calliope Rodrigues, she her pronouns, and Verdade, they them pronouns. Welcome back to our space here at Lantern Light Adventures. This is home to all of our TTRPG and related content on Twitch. All of our games are also uploaded to our Lantern Light Adventures YouTube channel. There's a link to our link tree in the chat that you can click. It'll take you to all of our various social media pages so you can follow us everywhere we are. If you want to keep up to date on everything we're doing, feel free to also join our Discord, which is linked in the chat. We will be streaming this Girl by Moonlight game every Tuesday, 6 to 9 p.m. PST. As for where you can find us the rest of the week, on most Wednesdays from 2 to 5 p.m. PST, we stream the Old Stories, The Breathing Mountain, our Old Gods of Appalachia actual play. As a warning, this is a horror game, so please take care of yourselves as needed. Excuse me. On most Sundays from 7:30 to 9:30 p.m. PST, we stream Era of the Dragons, our D&D 5e actual play. We also record an audio cast after show for each of our games where we go over any necessary advancement steps and debrief from the game. You can listen to these for free on our Patreon at patreon.com/lanternlightadventures. All of these after shows will always be free, but we appreciate any contributions and support as it helps us continue to bring you awesome queer content. Just as a reminder, each month we take the last 7 days of the month off so that we can edit and prepare more content for y'all, as well as have a bit of a break to handle our day-to-day responsibilities. And finally, in support of a free Palestine, we will be financially supporting a family through the Pass the Hat project. More information for that will be shared once we're assigned our family. Until then, there is a donation link for Doctors Without Borders on our page that you can support in the meantime. Thanks so much, everyone.
Thank you so much for those announcements. Finally, after a long break, let's get back into this. Captain Alice Ramos sits at a computer in a sparsely appointed military office. Images flash on the screen, reflected on her face. She glances nervously over the screen as other pilots and personnel mill about the space. She covertly pulls a flash drive from the tower of the computer and slips it into the sleeve of her uniform. She stands and, with all the poise and professionalism that she can muster, makes her way out of the building. She gets to the main plaza, only speaking when spoken to or nodding to others on her way out. She passes a sign near the entrance to the base, Storm Research Institute, Aeronautics Division. She gets to a parking lot and her breath relaxes a little as she reaches the handle to her modest blue pickup truck. She gets inside and takes several large breaths to calm her nerves. She isn't out yet. She drives through the gate. Guard waves her through. She's out. She did it. She begins to drive towards Santa Marta. The desert sprawled out in front of her. In her rear view, she sees a glint. Then she sees it, a black SUV, approaching fast. It gains on her as she tries to speed up. The SUV reaches her, ramming her off the road. As she feels the impact and hears the crush of metal and the breaking of glass, a large coin drops out of her pocket and hits the dashboard. It rings clear as a bell and glows. Previously, on an empty dream, things continue to escalate, and you have finally found something that is close to an answer. The investigation at the old physics building yielded information about some catastrophic event happening there about 1996. And that Albert Storm, the current founder and CEO of Storm Industries, was patient zero of whatever has been going on since that day. Also present at the lab that day was Dr. Tabitha Day, Moonflower, and Dr. Agatha Vogel, all three of which were part of Our Lady of the Atom back when they were still students here at UC Santa Marta. When Moonflower was approached about all this initially, she acted strangely towards Janus and withdrew, later inviting Janus and her friends to a dinner to clear things up. You also fought Corvus and Blacktail on the beach while investigating the strange phenomena over the bay. Helping you in that situation was another young woman who seemingly knew a lot about the dreaming and the monsters it summoned, one Jordan Flowers and her pug-sized crocodile. She told you that there are many anomalies and portals and that you can do some sort of ritual to open them some, but she needs your help to close them. Nif used her connections that her apparently very wealthy parents have to get a meeting with Albert Storm. But tonight, you have decided that you are going to meet up for dinner with Moonflower. So mechanically, we're still in the downtime phase. So you still have downtime actions if there's things you want to do before you get to Moonflowers, or we can pick up there. It is up to y'all.
I mean, Cary doesn't have any more left, so Cary's just hanging out. I think punching the punching bag, not doing anything mechanically.
I'm trying to decide if Nif wants to spend time with Cary or not.
Only you know the answer to that.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I Chantel am scared, but I think that Nif would go in and hold the punching bag for Cary, kind of recognizing Cary's need to take out frustration and kind of putting herself in a position where Cary is kind of lashing out at Nif in the fact that like she's punching at Nif, but safely on the other side of the punching bag. So yeah, just kind of being there around Cary, trying to like be present, but not push anything.
Cary starts hitting the bag harder. Not enough to actually hurt Nif physically, but enough that it is noticeable.
Nif is expecting that. I think Nif is putting herself in the way of like is trying to make sure that I think Nif wants Cary to know that Cary can take their frustration out and it's safe. Like, yeah, I know you're angry. I know that this was a shitty revelation. And you have every right to be angry. and I'm here for your anger. And I'm here to take that anger.
I think they only do a couple of punches and then they kind of stop, look Nif dead in the eyes, and then turn on their heels and start stalking away.
What, you don't want to talk about this?
There seems to be a lot that you didn't want to talk about. I assumed that that wouldn't change.
I know you're angry. Why would I want to talk about this? My parents are awful, and I am a massive beneficiary of an incredibly corrupt system. I don't want people to know that. It's shitty. I know my parents are the shittiest of shitty. I try to mitigate that where I can, but there's nothing that I can do that takes me out of that system.
So instead, you
come
just
and
don't
punch me.
tell people.
Yeah,
I'm
of
not
course
going to punch you.
Come and punch me.
Why? Why do you want me to punch you? So that you can
Because-
sue me and get more money?
No, because you're angry with me and you express anger through physical means. You know what? I need to learn how to fight. I need to learn how to punch better. Teach me how to punch better. Spar with me. Practice your child sparring, teaching, everything.
Sparring is an act of trust. You don't have that.
I
And
trust
Cary
you.
leaves. Cary doesn't respond. Cary just like kind of looks back once, glaring a little bit, and then just leaves.
I'm gonna say that I'm gonna let you, Chantel, if you want to. If you were trying to make a connection, you still can. I feel like this is either express or empathize from you.
I don't think any connection was made.
Cary
not
is
gonna roll.
actively pushing against the connection.
Yeah.
I want to
Yeah.
roleplay with you. I want to roleplay with you.
No,
so
no,
bad.
absolutely.
Okay, that's fine.
And then I'll just wait to do my other downtime until you guys have had a chance to as well. Because I think at this point, Nif might also be taking a few swings at the punching bag, but Nif is not good at punching.
Yeah. Kai is in the room and says and like tries to gently help you, but like did kind of overhear that exchange, and so they will take their give the space to you a little bit, and they'll just hold the bag for you while you punch some.
There's no danger of being hurt when you're holding the punching bag or Nif.
No.
I can't dance with a giant fucking octopus. I can't throw a punch. I think Nif is probably crying a little bit. Kind of punching and crying. The saddest kind of punching.
Yeah.
I'm gonna be better at punching, and then Cary will respect me again.
What is Callie and Janus, what are you up to in this time you have before meeting with Moonflower tonight?
So unsure of where to go or what to do, because like, you know, we're all in this space together. And it's hard to figure out if everybody just needs a minute by themselves. So I think Callie is processing and trying to figure out what the hell to do.
Totally reasonable.
I'm gonna mark a stress from that.
Okay. Yeah.
Listen, director, I am stressed.
Okay, I do have another downtime action. If kind of we want to move forward with that. I think after so one of the next spaces after the healing space in the hideout is the garden. I think that after some sad punching, Nif would kind of go off by herself and be like, well, I guess it's time for me to have a space for me out here. And we'll start working on the long-term project to put together a garden.
Absolutely. Let me make sure I remember what role this is. I'm gonna have to relearn how to play myself. Let's see.
Roll an appropriate action.
Yeah. Do downtime. Make a connection, work on a long-term project. Yeah. Roll an appropriate action. What action would you like to take to start to work on this clock? I will say that the garden, what does gardening give you? The garden. Clear one stress after rolling obligation. You've already done a lot towards this, so I'll say that this is just a 6-segment clock to fill.
Okay. I none of the stuff that I have is good for this. So I mean my top is empathize, but I could do flow. I can,
Yeah,
but up to you what you feel is appropriate for
yeah, I think
plant person creating a garden.
I think flow for right now sounds good.
Sure.
As you like try and like make the space, you're clearing the space right now. You're making sure it's available for you to build the garden.
That is a 4.
A 4. All right. And with a 4, that means you get 3 segments marked. So
Ooh.
yeah. So if someone wants to keep up with that,
I've got
building
that.
the garden. Got it? Cool. I appreciate y'all.
Aw.
And I think Nif would pretty pointedly be trying to do this by herself. I think there would be, which is very rare for Nif. I think there's kind of an aura around Nif right now that you would never have seen before.
Yeah. And the space you found in this kind of like network of tunnels, it seems like maybe it was built as like an kind of an open drain for the surrounding areas. But like plant life and everything have kind of grown over and choked it. But you come out of the tunnels and like the walls are 10 feet above you, just kind of choked with various vines and grasses and tree roots. But it is an open space with open air and a view of the sky. You can easily make this into a space where you can set up a little garden.
Amazing.
So what is Janus up to? You
I
don't have to
think-
do a downtime action. Just want to see what you're up to.
I think that Janus was tuned in to what was going on between Nif and Cary and is concerned about both of her friends. And was probably trying to keep a bit of a close eye on Nif, since they're Janus's, fated person, and she's trying to make sure Nif doesn't, go nuclear. So she probably followed them out there to the garden and then picked up on Nif's vibe. Like wanted to go out there and help and connect with Nif, but then probably just backed off to give him some space. So I guess at that point, Janus is going to get ready for tonight and maybe I don't really know how to do an investigation ahead of a dinner, like how to investigate a dinner party that we're going to.
Right.
But maybe she pulls out her tarot cards and tries to do kind of like an intuitive investigation about what kind of mindset to be in tonight, what kind of context to be aware of.
Yeah. I feel like I'm yeah, we can definitely either hold on to the investigate action until you get the information from dinner tonight.
Okay.
But you can pull cards, of course, anytime and see how Janus feels about what is pulled.
Woo.
Right. She'll get out her little cyberpunk witchy cards, and she pulls the Empress.
Interesting.
So she looks at that, and there's kind of like an abundance and a fruitfulness and a productivity to the Empress. So she's feeling that there's going to be some revelations tonight, or some movement made on their mission. But also there's an element of the unknown and of the clandestine to this card, so that you know, she expects it to be a fruitful conversation, but that there may be so it may be a difficult conversation. There may be some subtext there.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Well, yeah, the group seems a little fractured at the moment, but you all have things to do. You all have somewhere to be. You all, in your own ways, gather each other, assemble your rides to, I don't know if you all just ride with Cally or what. Is it the most uncomfortable drive through suburban Santa Marta?
I think Cary takes their motorcycle.
Mm.
Fair.
I think Nifa takes her own car.
Ooh.
Oof.
So it's just Janice and Callie in the car.
And Janice turns to Cally and is like, "Can you still do that flying thing?"
Only when transcended.
Okay.
Can't use it as a taxi service, unfortunately. Maybe one day. This is going to be a really awkward dinner.
It's going to be so awkward.
Yeah. Like, it was already going to be a little bit awkward already, and now it's going to be really, really awkward.
Should we play man? Do you want to take Cary and I'll take Winifred and just try to keep them away from each other?
Yeah, well, we'll try to do that. Just each of us keeps an eye on one of them, and man, hopefully it goes okay.
Who do we think arrives first here?
Cary on
Nif.
the motorbike. Oh, Nif in the car.
Who speeds the most when mad?
Yes. Nif has, it's not a fancy car, but it is a very good car.
Mhm.
And I think Nif is very familiar with this area and is
Yeah.
probably, I think my guess is Nif and Cary probably get there at a very similar time.
I think that if Cary sees Nif's car pulling in, they do a couple of circles around the block.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
You hear loud music coming from Nif's car. Loud,
What
sad
is it?
music.
I need to know
just
what the song is.
probably a lot of Marina. It's just
Ooh.
a lot of Marina coming from the, from the car, and just putting on some makeup and, gaining her composure and compartmentalizing.
Yeah. Moonflower's house is a pretty modest, just working class home, single level, has a open metal carport instead of a garage. Overall, just a very modest home, painted a faded shade of purple. It looks like it was maybe painted 30 years ago. And you see that Moonflower's car is there. There is, of course, it is an old, what's the model? I'm thinking it's like an old Saab, and it has a coexist sticker on the back and all sorts of there's pinnacles and everything, just hundreds of stickers, national parks, all sorts of things, just all over the back of this vehicle. The lawn is slightly overgrown, but you can see that there has been multiple attempts to make a raised flower garden in the front that have been are in various states of being tended to and abandoned throughout. And yeah, you arrive at the home. Nif, you pull up. Cary, you do a couple laps. In fact, I feel that Janus and Callie, you drive up, you see Nif's car is already here. You see the back of Cary doing a lap away, and you figure you don't know if Cary is just decided to leave. You don't know what you're coming up to.
It is, I would like to note, Cary is blasting Queen. Absolute full volume.
Absolutely. Yeah, you all get out of your vehicles, I assume.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And Cary makes the lap back.
Yep.
Moonflower comes out onto the small front porch of this home, and she says, "Oh, good. I thought I heard you. Come on in. Come on in.
Good evening, Dr. Day. It's a pleasure to see you.
Please, you can call me Moonflower.
I'm not going to,
Moonflower.
Dr. Day.
I respect that. But you can if you want to."
Janice goes up and she and Moonflower touch palms and do a little thing. Then she follows her into the house.
Yeah, and the first thing you see in the little walkway is a big sign that says "Blessed Be," and there is every corner of this home has something on it. A little tchotchke, some sort of weird witchy thing. There are cloths draped over furniture. It is almost Victorian in how much every space has something. But this is just a modest suburban home that she has just made feel comfy. It's got enough room for you to move about, but it doesn't feel like if you needed to set down something, you don't know where you would set it down. Little statues, little seashells, things from various trips. But she invites you back. She says, can I get you anything to drink? Or also, I forgot to ask, is everyone okay with vegan food?
Of course.
Okay.
Yeah, that's fine.
Cary looks at Janus with the biggest puppy dog eyes.
Janice just kind of placates her, it'll be okay.
And water is fine. That would be amazing.
Water, I don't usually have sodas and everything. I bought sodas. I wasn't sure what everyone liked.
Oh, I'm sure we'd all be very happy with whatever. We're just really happy to be here.
Yeah. And she invites you into her front room, which is her living room, where there is a small TV from the 90s in there. But it's mostly bookshelves. Simultaneously, just it doesn't seem, as you look through the shelves, it doesn't seem to be any order of anything. There are novels and mathematics books are well above most of your levels, maybe not Janice's, the girl genius. So also just put in with all these new age kind of books, all sorted through this. And there are also little tchotchkes on the shelves in front of the books.
I
And
love her.
yeah, there's just a love seat and another seat, another single seat in this living room. The love seat has a clearly like hand crocheted like Afghan tossed over it. The throw pillows are have dragons on them, and yeah, she invites you to sit, and she says, there's some things steaming still. Oh, I didn't. Oh, I also forgot to ask, is anyone allergic to gluten? We're having buns.
No, I'm good.
Sounds amazing.
I don't think I'm allergic to gluten. I would have died by now if I was.
You've had so many things with gluten. I think you're probably fine.
Yes, I suppose you do know everything. You were raised with some great tutors, weren't you?
Don't worry, you would know if you were allergic by now. I
But
think we're all good.
she brings you all water. She says, yeah, make yourself at home. How are you all doing? I'm sorry, I don't entertain very often. Usually I try to keep socializing to my work at the university. Don't bring too many people here. So sorry about all the mess.
No,
It's
it's fine.
beautiful. I love your house. And I love the gardens out front. What are you growing?
Oh, I tried to grow tomatoes several times. And I realized that I am far too busy to maintain most plants. Currently, mint has completely taken over one of the boxes. But who doesn't love mint?
Yes, it is a noble plant, a conqueror.
That's a good way to think about it. It's a resilient plant.
And mint tea is amazing.
Yeah, of course. Oh yes, tea. If you want tea, I do like I said, have plenty of mint. And like you can actually see that there's like sprigs of mint like back in the kitchen, like hanging to dry. She says, she kind of like flits in between, and so she says, she kind of like yells back from the kitchen. She says, "It'll be just a few more minutes." And you hear like something clang and fall.
Do you want a hand in there? I'd be
Oh
happy
no,
to help out.
no. You are my guests. Please
I mean,
relax.
just because we're guests doesn't mean we have to be, useless.
She says she comes out and she like dusts. She's wearing like a big long cardigan. It is it's just gray and has like kind of nice cable knitting and stuff. Her hair is completely down and wild. She is wearing a big pair of glasses, and she has the jangliest earrings and like 14 bracelets. Um, she put on her best jewelry for you to be here. So
She's so nervous. Love it.
she invites you back to the dining room. And you can tell that like the dining room is mostly used for grading students' papers, which she has tried to carefully box and set aside in the dining room. But you can kind of get the picture that like this table isn't used much for eating as so much as it usually just has stacks of papers on it. But she brings you back to the dining room area, and she brings out a bamboo steamer, puts it on the table. There are sides of various greens, peas, and large. She brings a bowl that has rice in it with a serving spoon in it. There are places set for all of you. Um, She opens it up and they are buns. There's also plates of tofu that seem to be in a some sort of like spicy sauce. You can see the chili on it, kind of cut, fried, and marinated in this sauce. She says, I hope everything is to everyone's liking. Please enjoy. And yeah, there's
It smells amazing. Thank you so much.
you're welcome. You're welcome. Oh,
So, do we do information exchange after or while we're eating? I feel like that would be a bit messy.
yeah. Yes, about that. I figured it was best to no one when Janus came to me, I want to apologize first and say I'm sorry for being evasive about what was going on. No one has asked about the incident for a long time. But I worry every day about Albert since that day. And if you, it sounds like you got involved in something bigger going on that I'm not sure what exactly what trouble you've gotten into. But if you're asking questions about this, I feel like I should give you all the information I have. I'm going to do this as kind of a narrative. So, 1996, Santa Marta, California. You see the lab in the old physics building. It's full glory, fully operational. There are students and interns and professors, notably Dr. Vogel. Dr. Vogel is setting up a device in the room. She's looking it over. A young Dr. Day, a young moonflower, steps in. I mean, these are adults. They are professors here together. They are setting up for some experiment. She comes in, tenderly grasps Agatha's hand, and says, "You think it's ready?" And Agatha turns to her. She says, "I don't know, but I think Albert said he could only be in town for a couple of days more, and it's important we get this data. At least try. I mean, we can always try again later if it doesn't work, but if it does work, and if he's right, if I'm right, and you've checked our math, if we're right, this is huge." And Moonflower kind of looks, she says, "It's a little scary though. Moving someone's consciousness from one place to another, that's not something anyone's tried before." And Dr. Vogel says, "Well, doesn't mean we shouldn't try." And Albert's offered himself as a test subject, and it's ethically dubious, but we got to try. I just imagine the cutaway to Cary being like, "What?"
Cary's like, Cary audibly at this point goes, "No, that's not how that works."
Moonflower says, I look, I may not remember all the details. I'm sure we did our due diligence, but that's not the important part here." And we go back into the scene again. And Albert comes in, he's 30 years younger. And he says, "All right, I'm ready to strap in, let's do this." Agatha says, "Okay, we're going to be behind the shielding there. We'll be able to see everything. We'll be monitoring from there. We'll have you hooked up, and we see the device. It's monitoring wires and everything that go into the safe room, but there's a device that goes around the head. It has various leads and electronics. There's monitoring equipment in the room here, but a simple chair sits here. Plastic chair, probably just pulled from one of the other rooms. And they strap in Albert Storm into this and go back, and Agatha presses a button and says, okay, we are powering up, and things begin to whir. Albert says, Agatha presses the button. How are you feeling, Albert? Albert says, nothing yet. And then, like, things start going off the charts in the monitoring. The lights flicker in the building. Agatha, one of the instruments spikes, and Agatha immediately hits an emergency stop. And she says, no, that's not right. That's no. Albert, after seeing it go stop, he says he is visibly angry. He looks to them. He says, why'd you stop it? Agatha comes out from behind the shielding. She says, I'm not going to risk killing you. The levels were all too wrong. Maybe we need to rethink the hypothesis. Maybe we need to put you to sleep. And Albert says, I don't want to be put to sleep for this. I want to be awake when we make history. And Agatha says, I don't think there's another way. Your active mind is overriding the conduit. We can't transfer it when it's in control. Moonflower is back behind the shielding, like looking at the readouts and worried. You can see the worried look on her face as she looks at her two friends arguing over this. This is not Moonflower's field. Her field is theoretical mathematics. She checked their numbers, but they are on another level of breaking ground. It's another day. The next day, they have set up the lab with a hospital bed. Albert is there, strapped in, ready to sleep. He falls asleep as Agatha and Moonflower sit in the control booth. Moonflower's head against, just tired and laying against Agatha, who is watching this like a hawk. And Agatha begins to turn a dial to slowly amp up the power to whatever device they have built. There's not the same surges. Everything goes smoothly. Everything begins to peak the way that Agatha wants it to. She looks pleased as the test goes on. And then she begins to open the transmission. Whatever they are using to transmit data from Albert to some other remote place. Maybe it's on some part of the campus. Maybe it's just lower in the building, but it's somewhere else from this room. As everything continues to go up, something spikes. 1 little meter just spikes for a moment, and then 2, and then 3 or 4, and they all start acting erratically, but nothing's overloading, nothing's flickering. Albert, eyes open in the bed, glowing a purple. And then it kind of seeps over his cheeks, down his neck. His face warps. Moonflower has fallen asleep by this point. Agatha stands up. She looks, Moonflower kind of wipes her eyes and looks at whatever is happening here. Eventually, Albert sits up in the chair. And a voice that's not Albert's. It says, "What is this place? This is not. What is this?" As this energy seeps down Albert, the face morphs. Crystals form at the tips of the eyes and kind of work their way out. Agatha, seeing this, says, "What?" She's looking and she hits the emergency. The machines power off, but they don't. There's no power being added to this boat. It seems Albert is in some sort of feedback. Whatever is in him is now feeding back into the system, continuing this transmission. Agatha presses it again and again. She's like, "No, no." Moonflower's like trying to help in any way she can, but Agatha exits the control booth, shuts the door. Moonflower still in the control booth watching on. And Agatha grabs at the device, pulls it, disconnects it, destroy it. Energy arcs from the device. The energy seems to pull from Albert along with the machine, but it arcs all up and down Agatha. There is a bright flash. Agatha hits the ground. Albert, unconscious, on the bed. We return to the dinner. Moonflower, you can tell she's holding back a tear or two, recalling this event to you. She says, I don't know. I never went back to look at the data, the information. Think we succeeded in something that day? Agatha lived that day. Albert woke up like it was a bad dream later on. Nothing, no permanent medical effects anyone could find. But whatever he saw in his dream, he said it would change the world, but I never spoke to him much past that day. I said it was his fault. Agatha was in the state she was in. She lived, but she didn't wake up. She lives in a facility not far from here. I see her every day. The times were different, and me and Agatha, we would be married if that was the way things were back then. And I just try and take care of her. But Albert became obsessed with dreams and supernatural phenomena of all kinds. He had the resources to dump into whatever he wanted to. I mean, honestly, had things not gone wrong and had the machine not been destroyed that day, I think he would have stolen that research too. Would have taken it to his military industrial complex and adulterated it for whatever he wanted to. I don't know what that thing was that was taking over him that day. But on paper, this was officially just a lab accident. Circuit breaker didn't go off when it was supposed to. People got hurt. That's that.
Moonflower, I'm so sorry.
It's okay. There was no reason you would have known anything about this. I mean, look,
I just hate that you've been going through this on your own for so long.
I can
You-
understand why you were hesitant to talk about it.
So the description of the like purple weirdness,
mhm.
is there any way that Cary could like trace it at least to some kind of like oh yeah, this is this one guy or like this
Mhm.
one type of guy? I don't know if that's possible. That's why I'm asking.
Yeah, I'm thinking.
Okay. I just wanted to make sure that I wasn't like trying to pressure you into anything.
No, not at all. You would. There is. There are a few entities you've only spoken to in some sort of crystalline form, and that's the chorus, the choir, the leaders. They told you what to do, what raids to do. Most of the dreaming acts in some sort of animalistic or some sort of anthropomorphic way, but the leaders of the chorus, who do not speak with one voice except for when one voice speaks, you know that the leader of everything going on does speak through this chorus to you. You know not a name, you just know that they wield the authority. And that's the only crystalline things you can think of from the dreaming.
All right. So the timeline. Cary was around in the dreaming. Is the timeline roughly when we started being interested in Earth, or has it always been kind of that push-pull and this was just...
It's odd because from your perspective, everything in the dreaming has been set up for as long as you can remember to be connected and interested to the land of dreamers. Everything has been set up to do these raids, but the timelines maybe match up based on just your experiences from being in our world in a way. There were those that came before you. You were part of the current huge wave, though. There were
Okay.
small scouts before you. But the dreaming has always been interested in the dreamers.
All right. I think Cary's kind of just mulling things over. I don't think that they say much. They're also not really, like, if there's food, they're not really eating it.
Mm-hmm.
Wolves are not meant to be vegan.
Fair enough. Yeah.
I think Nif, seeing that, would try and also eat Cary's portion. Like if Cary's not taking it, Nif would like try to eat for two, so that it doesn't look like somebody hasn't been eating it.
I'm gonna roll to see how Cary responds.
Not
Cary
from
has
Cary's plate, just like taking it extra from the serving stuff.
Okay, not from Cary's plate.
No, I'm not stealing from Cary's plate. Just seeing like, Cary has taken a little bit and isn't really eating it. So, like, Nif is making sure that it doesn't look like people were being picky.
Mm-hmm.
Moonflower says, I have actually thought a lot about that day. I never looked at the results, but I don't. I didn't. The math wasn't quite caught up to what Agatha and Albert were up to. And I maybe didn't help them in the way that I should have. I didn't have the tools necessary to check their work. Computers are a lot better now than they were then. We did have them, but now have access to a lot more.
And none of that is on you. You did what you could. You were a good friend and they had things they wanted to do.
Look, I appreciate what you're doing. I will say that I'm an old lady at this point. I can live with the decisions I've made through my life. And I don't want you to feel the burden of dealing with an old lady's troubles. But that's not something you need on your spirit. I I thought maybe this would be a cautionary tale, but I honestly don't want to put that on you either. That seems a little authoritarian of me.
We're hard to caution.
Yeah, I feel that Janus has enough caution for all of you.
I will specifically do the opposite out of spite.
I appreciate that spirit, and I hope you have a friend who is willing to tell you when you've gone too far.
I have Janus. That's all I need.
Janus reaches out and pats Cary on the leg.
This is delicious. Mm.
Thank you. I got most of these recipes. I studied for a few years in China, at some engineering schools there. It was a wonderful time. Enjoyed the food and the people. My Mandarin's a little rusty these days, but
If you have them written down anywhere, I'd love to get copies.
oh, yeah, absolutely. She actually pulls out like a little index card box and she kind of thumbs through it, like looking down through her glasses, like.
And Nif would like take pictures of the cards and give them back to her.
Yep, she'll put them back in and set them on one of the many shelves and throughout the space.
Is there any like bills or like some, mail from any facilities, long-term care facilities anywhere around that I can see, that Nif can see?
Yes. Yeah, there's a what is it? Oh yeah, there is you can see like amongst the in the boxes, the like she has like these bank boxes that are full of like student papers, but it looks like she also just like took mail off her table and shoved it in there too. You can see bills from a Sacred Heart hospital, their long-term care department.
I think under the table, trying not to like have anybody see, Nif is texting like her mom's assistant to try and set up payment, like taking over payments on behalf of Nif's like charitable organization for Dr. Vogel's care. Just like,
Okay.
you know, something that can't be traced back to her, but like to alleviate the stress for Moonflower. She's like, oh, I don't know how this happened, but like trying to make sure that nobody else sees.
Yeah. Moonflower will kind of fuss but you see that she's kind of like eyeing her shelves for a book. And she pulls one out, the cover, it's like it's a just a paperback book, but it's like thick, it's like a textbook size thing. The cover is worn back. This is a well-read volume of whatever she's pulled out. The title actually is like almost worn off all the edges, and she thumbs through it. There's papers and like sticky notes attached to it. She says, I've actually thought a lot about the math from that day, and I always thought that maybe we just moved Agatha's consciousness somewhere else. That maybe we got the coordinates wrong because we forgot about dimensions, and because that's all theoretical and that's all physics, and I'm not a physicist, and I told her that so many times. But math is math, and I can check the math, and if the numbers check out, but if your whole hypothesis is off when you make the math, then and she says, I'm sorry, I'm ranting. It's not very useful information, but and it's also a fool's errand. Like, if that's, even if it is true that we just moved her mind somewhere else, that it's still gone.
Not forever.
There's always hope.
I think Janice kind of perks up when Moonflower pulls down the book, and she's like, is this your work? Is this the math? And she wants to like, will excitedly kind of like start poring over it, looking over Moonflower's shoulder.
Yeah, this is the math. I had it printed up to check over it back then. I look at it a lot, but yeah, this is the math. This is what I was supposed to check, and you see it is full of 30 years of scribblings.
Really?
Like changing numbers, changing variables, like printouts from the lab supercomputers, like the school's supercomputers and things, like of like checking some of these numbers. Like through the years, you could see how technology has progressed by looking through this book.
I think Janice is like trembling with excitement to go over all of this.
Moonflower, if we were to somehow get a meeting with Albert Storm, is there anything that we should say to him? Any questions we should ask him that, you know, you might not have the option to?
just, you can tell she's holding back something. She says, I hope when his time on our dear Earth is done, that he can live with what he's decided to do with his life. I don't think I have actually anything to actually say to him. He was intent on doing that experiment that day because it was important to him and him alone. He acted selfishly. Agatha was a visionary. She knew we could do the impossible, but when people start pushing you to do that prematurely, that's how accidents happen. And I think if Albert had not come around at that time, Agatha would still be with us. And maybe whatever weird stuff has been happening in here would not also be happening. Basically, I've been talking to a physicist. What's his name? He's in Germany. No, not Germany, the Netherlands. Groningen, like professor there. He's been helping me with the physics. And you'll
And
see
could you
some.
spell that name for me, please?
Oh, I did. That's the city in the Netherlands. Groningen. I'll pronounce it. The Dutch have the weird G's, but Groningen. It's the city. I don't remember his name right now. But his notes are in the book too. He thinks maybe we opened a dimensional doorway, portal, something overlapped a dimension. That's what the math says anyway.
It's
so-
a very good theory.
So, which could cause weird phenomenon in space-time or something, but
Oh, yes. There's quite a lot that it could do.
you're really ominous.
Thank you, I try.
You said it seems like she's holding back.
She was holding back about Albert.
Gotcha.
You think she was holding back how angry she is with him.
Okay.
But you can see from some of the self-help books about living a peaceful life in this space that
Oh.
that she tries to live a peaceful life.
Oh. That's not gonna work.
You should punch it out.
No. I tried that for a little while. That was a interesting time, and then the country got very war enthused, and I made a few changes and have been a strict pacifist since.
Pacifist. You do realize that anger is a necessary emotion, right? There's no change that happens without anger.
I feel anger. I feel angry, but I choose to do something different with it.
And what do you do with it exactly?
Meditate, light incense, drink some mint tea, relax, and enjoy the peace I have in this moment, instead of worrying about moments that aren't right now.
Others don't have peace. Should they meditate as well?
There are different tools for different situations.
Yes.
Complacency is not a tool in any situation.
Where's that book about power structures? There's a difference between what we can do as individual people and what we have to come together and do as a society and with systems, and they have different tactics. I'm not I'm not personally convinced that violence is an answer on any of those levels.
Hmm.
It
It's
doesn't
nice
change.
that you can keep your morals.
It is a privilege. I understand that. It's something that we all get to have living in the heart of the empire.
Hmm. Heart of the Empire.
It's all bread and circuses for the people who live in Rome.
Hmm. But Rome falls.
Rome fell. It did.
How soon do you think we'll watch the buildings burn, Doctor?
Nif is over there just like 1,000 yards staring into her plate. Just like a little bit of an eye twitch.
Back in my day, it was constantly 1 minute to midnight. We were 1 minute away from destruction all the time. I lived my childhood, my college years in fear that the world was going to end at every moment. A lot of people took that, a lot of people my age, a lot of people Albert's age, took that to mean we had to defend ourselves against that constant threat. I took it to mean that we had to make do with the time we had.
Yeah, in a way, they were all right. Someone's world does end every minute. A world is not a planet or a being or an idea. It's the people. Each individual person is a world. And every minute one of them more, they're snuffed out. I think you should meditate on that tonight.
Who's your advisor again? What major are you?
I am an anthropology major.
Excellent. No, honestly, they're clearly doing good work there. You think about those things. You mull them over. I encourage you to really think it through. Maybe violence is an answer. Maybe it's something I'm overlooking. I don't have answers. I'm just telling you how I react.
Where I come from, people either die fighting or they die whimpering. I would rather die fighting for something bigger than myself, fighting for a future that I may not see, but someone I love will.
Mm.
Cary, we will take this information that we have learned and we will move on to come up with solutions. But for right now, you berating this person who has just helped us does not help for this situation.
We're having a discussion.
You are just berating somebody for your own feelings of frustration at things not changing. You don't have to make everybody else feel shitty for the choices they make because you feel helpless.
Do you feel shitty, Doctor?
I'm going to ask you to take a step back, both of you. You clearly are friends, right?
Ha! Are we?
Yes. You wouldn't have had that reaction otherwise. You care so much, Cary. You care more than you want to show anyone here. That's why you're so angry all the time, because you don't have all the power in the world to care for everyone the way you want to, the way you want to make sure everything is just fine, just right. I've been there. We started Our Lady of the Atom because we were on the brink of destruction all the time and we didn't have any power to say anything. We found a way to say something. We could have been angry, alone, and kept that to ourselves and let it fester, but we said something. We felt better about it. We shared in our anger about what was happening. We still ended up in different places. We still ended up in wildly different states of mind about what to do with the world. But I've never met anyone who is so angry all the time and didn't care. Those two seem to be not possible. You can't be angry and not care. You're angry because you care. And I don't know what's going on between you two. But it sounds like Winifred, you said your name is?
Yes.
I don't know what's going on, but I don't need your protection. It sounds like you want to stand up for yourself, but you're standing up for someone else instead. I don't know what's going on here. And honestly, I don't think I need to know. But you're lovely people. You clearly care deeply. You seem to be good students from what I have heard around about you all. And I'm not telling you not to fight each other. God, friends fight all the time. It happens. Doesn't mean you're not friends. But take a second, take a breath. Remember why you're angry instead of deciding to be angry about something else instead. And face that part instead of just jabbing at each other like that. Oh, that got, oh, sorry. She goes and she lights some incense to kind of calm the air in the room. She fans it around. She says,
I think Nif will stand up and just being the most polite. I really appreciate your time. Thank you so much for all the information and for the very lovely dinner. I hope to see you around campus, and I'm going to head out. Thank you. And Nif will just gather her stuff and not waiting for anybody, will go out to her car and will drive away.
Oh, damn, that was a big clap of thunder out there. Okay.
It was all me.
Moonflower will kind of gather herself and she says, sorry, I didn't mean to get that way about it. I just
Was I berating you?
Not at all. You are angry. Nif is, I'm not going to say don't listen to Nif because you should listen when your friends are angry about something. But I think she was trying to protect me as a way to talk about her own feelings. I don't know that 100%. Don't just take my word with the biggest grain of salt, okay? Talk to your friend. Again, like I said, you are all lovely, and I've appreciated having you in my home, and sorry to be all parental.
It's all right. If it helps, I've never had one, so I didn't even pick up on that.
A lot of kids who come through don't, so try to help where I can. If you need anything, if you need me to talk to any professors on your behalf or anything about stuff, let me know. Also, if you want to visit Agatha, you're welcome to do that when I go see her.
I'd like to.
clearly whatever happened that made you ask questions, you're now involved in the threads of her life that got cut short a little bit. So
I want to see her.
yeah. Like I said, I see her every day. But general visiting times are earlier in the day. So I'll let you know when those are. I'll send you an email with that information.
Yes, the electronic mailing system.
It's important to me as a faculty member to know that you know how to access your email, right?
I am aware of how to access the electronic mailing system, yes.
Okay. I don't like it any more than you do.
Janice showed me how. She's very helpful.
Janice is very helpful, yes. But yes, it was lovely to meet you. You're welcome. If there's any of the food left, you're welcome to take whatever you want.
Thank you.
Of course. I figure vegan was the easiest. I'm usually just a vegetarian myself, but truly try the tofu. It really has a very meaty texture, especially when it's fried like that.
What's the difference between a vegan and a vegetarian?
No animal products at all. No cheese, no honey, no milk, no eggs as well.
That feels counterproductive. The animals overproduce quite often.
Yeah,
and
but
bees are in a symbiotic relationship with humans at this point. I've studied that. I know how bees work.
oh no, is this professor going to radicalize Cary? Yes. She's going to hand you a book on veganism and animal cruelty.
Cary tilts their head a little bit, looks up. What about the people cruelty?
That's a different subject in the library. So
We don't eat people either.
Well, no, obviously not, but does veganism while helping animals harm people? I mean, they have to get all of these products from somewhere.
these are good questions. Read the book and see if it enlightens you.
I have so many questions. Constantly.
Good. That's what you're supposed to do. You're supposed to always be asking. Never take anything at face value, Cary.
I try my best not to. Should I take that at face value?
She laughs. She for the first time she like belly laughs about that. She says, I don't know, but keep that attitude anyway.
Also, Cary, you can eat some of this and then still eat whatever meat you want to eat later. You might like something.
Yes, but if I don't like it, then it's going to be in my mouth forever.
Not forever.
It's going to be in my mouth for several hours, and I'm going to taste it, and it's going to be very unfortunate, because if I do not like it, I will go every time I close my mouth.
We'll just get you something that you do like afterwards.
I'll just go
Okay.
to Arby's.
That's yeah.
Yeah.
They do have the meats.
They definitely have the meats.
Yeah, but Moonflower will give all her mathematical notes to you, Janus, and she says, just return it to me at school when you're done.
I will. Thank you.
Cary's kind of
So
like
much.
peering over Janice's shoulder. They don't understand any of this, but whatever Janice does, they like to do as well.
And as you all kind of filter out of Moonflower's home for the evening, we're going to go ahead and take our break.
Woo,
So-
break.
Yeah. We will be back here in 10 to 15 minutes. We'll see you soon.
Go coconuts.
Go coconuts.
Go coconuts.
Hey everyone, welcome back. You all just got back, left Moonflower's home after she gave you a lot of information, a lot of insight. But again, Moonflower doesn't really know what's fully happening, and you kind of do. So, what
We're
are
not
you
about
going
to tell her.
Yep. What are you going to do with that information? As we are still in downtime. I think Cally has downtime activity, and so does Janus.
I'm going to investigate that book.
All right. Yeah. Go ahead and give me an analyze roll.
Yeah, will.
There's no way I can assist, is there?
Relearning the game. Gather information. There it is.
Mhm.
On a 6, you get 2 questions and a follow-up from your gather information.
Okay. I kind of like what's different about it this time, because I feel like we're kind of like going into this area that Storm and Vogel and Moonflower have already kind of explored like once back in the 90s, right? And we're kind of like trying to dig up this same kind of space. So what's different this time?
What's different this time is so based on the timelines that you know and the timelines that you've kind of gathered from Kai and Cary and all this information, it seems like whatever happened in the 90s was just first contact, but things didn't start amping up till fairly recently. Like you didn't start seeing anomalies and phenomena like this until about when you were created. But that doesn't mean to say that that didn't happen, but whatever they did has either damaged space-time in a way or whatever phenomenon was set off then is continuing. It's expanding. It's allowing more and more things to come through, and you're coming close to a critical point.
Okay. This one seems a little almost OP, but one of my questions I get to ask is, what really happened here?
What really happened here? This is actually good because you have all the information. You are looking through these notes. You see the math. You see their hypotheses. You see their theories about what was going to happen. All the information is laid out in front of you, but you have a piece of information they didn't have. You know about the dreaming. So, what really happened here is that Albert Storm somehow connected with a being from the dreaming and, like you all do, transcended himself. Maybe whatever they did linked these two worlds and it just started moving over. But that's what happened here. That's Albert Storm was the first one to transcend.
The proto magic girl.
Mm-hmm.
Magical billionaire.
Magical billionaire.
And I get a follow-up question.
You do get a follow-up question.
Is it one of the questions from my gathered information questions?
No, it just
It could be
has to.
anything.
Yeah, it's a follow-up question about the information you've been given.
I want to ask about Agatha
Mm-hmm.
in the same kind of like what really happened here kind of vein. Like,
Mhm.
what do I think happened to Agatha when like Storm bridged that divide and transcended?
Well,
She's still out there.
yeah, you think she's still out there. Kai looks like her. Her visage is the same visage of Agatha as like you've determined from seeing the archival stuff. Kai said that this is the visage of the conduit. So what happened to Agatha? Her consciousness was removed. It was sent somewhere else. And it seems that as far as the dreaming is concerned, Agatha's what's keeping the door open. So
So
Yeah.
are the three of us together? Like, did we leave her house already? And
yeah, honestly, I like think you left the house at the same time.
okay,
Nif left earlier
Right.
slightly. So
Mm-hmm.
Are we back in kind of like nebulous downtime?
yeah, we're still in
Space.
nebulous downtime space. Yeah.
Okay.
I think that so did we all, maybe we all went to the Arby's so that we could get some food that is edible to her.
Woo, food.
I'm so sad Cary is such a picky eater. They would have loved all the MSG.
Nif absolutely went to the Arby's and is sitting in the Arby's parking lot with a bunch of Arby's.
You roll up in the Arby's.
Thank
Nip
you.
is already there.
Oh, well. We should probably fill Nif in on everything. Cary,
Nif
are
sees you
you
guys and like slides her chair back, so it looks like there's nobody in the car.
Cary, are you okay?
I'm fine.
I can always ask a player character how they really feel for free. So how do you really feel?
Cary is not fine. Cary is angry and confused and feels. Do we want to get how in depth do you want me to go?
Your call?
All
I'm here
right,
for
so
I can go deep. Let's go.
let's go, baby. Cary feels like no matter how much progress they make, they're always going to backpedal into the person that they were before, into Lykos before. And the way that Nif is reacting reinforces that for them, that they're always going to be asking the wrong questions and being too aggressive and scaring people or putting them on the offensive. They're always going to be the most monstrous form of Godzilla. They are never going to be the protector of man. They are always going to be the enemy, the allegory for war, the thing to be fought against and driven back and isolated. And they are terrified that that scares them now. And they don't know how to ask their questions calmly. They don't know how to not be angry because it is how they have been living their entire existence. There's a lot that they don't understand, and that frustrates them.
You're not fine. We don't have to talk about it right now if that's not helpful for you. If it is helpful for you, we can. I know things got very complicated today.
They did, but we persist.
That we do. Callie will give you a hug. And in hopes that just this little bit of an exchange is something that can form a link.
Go ahead and roll express, I believe. Or no, empathize.
Empathize. Got one, so that's 2 dice.
Uh
I forget how to play.
if you have 1 dot, that's 1 die.
1 dot, 1 die. Okay.
Yeah. If Cary is accepting of this connecting moment, you can get a bonus die. But it's Cary's call.
Is Cary accepting of it? That is the question.
It's Cally.
Yeah, I think that they love Cally. They'll accept that.
That is a 4 and a 1.
So a 4.
No, I'm sorry. It was in the light. It's 2 4s.
Oh, it's
Okay.
2 4s. Okay.
White lettering.
Still a 4. 4. That is so 3 segments or 3 links given. So you give Cary 3 links with you.
All right, cool.
Nice.
So that goes on Cary's sheet, not mine, right?
Correct.
Okay, perfect. And then I'm gonna text Nif. Hey, you okay? Question mark. You got some information from the book. ... We can share with you here or later. ...
I think Nif kind of Nif is not being at all smooth about this. Nif is like crying in her car.
Oh,
and like eating Arby's fries while trying to like hide from her friends. And like laying back kind of in that uncomfortable way. Just like, I just want to sit up, please. But they're still there. Like, I'm fine. Thumbs up emoji. Can you text me the main points?
Sure, no problem. I'll give a couple bullet points. Let me know if you need anything.
Niv texts back like, so does that mean we have to kill Kai or Agatha? Like, how is have we talked about that?
Honestly, I have no clue. We haven't really talked about it yet. I think we're all just sort of processing ... question mark. Sigh. I
I
think we're
need to
gonna
know,
go
does
inside and
Callie
get some
type
food.
outside?
Yeah, with like the little asterisks beside. Yeah. Asterisk sigh, asterisk.
Incredible.
I know Niff will like say in Callie's head, I know you're out there. Do you want to come and lay in my car with me?
Okay, I'm gonna go check on Niff. Y'all go ahead and go inside and grab food. And I'll head over to her car. And I'll let myself in, take a seat, push the seat back. So that was something.
A lot of really good information. It was very brave of Moonflower to share that. I think that was really productive. It will really help us move forward with this, getting things fixed. It's great. Would you like a fry? Have some fries.
Of course.
I got a lot.
Yeah, it's a fry kind of night. For sure.
Yep.
So how do you really feel? It's like the therapist of the group. This is too real.
Niv feels angry with herself and like Niff feels like a monster because Niff understands, I think better than anybody, how this imbalance of power that she benefits from works. And like she's tried so hard to get herself out of benefiting from that, or at least trying to like make her privilege benefit other people as much as she can. But she's fully aware that like she and her family and like all the people that she knows and has grown up with are the problem, are these awful, awful, monstrous people perpetuating a terrible system. And like she doesn't see a way out of it to not be this like monster that consumes everything. Just like there's no way I cannot benefit from this privilege. And I hate it so much. But I also don't know how to live without it. And like there's nothing I can do that will shut the system down. And nothing I can throw money at to like take the stain off my conscience. And like I have tried throwing money at every cause and paying off medical debt and like you know, if any of you looked at your health insurance right now, you would see you have the most incredible, like, everything covered health insurance, because like we do dangerous shit. And I'm like, I can't protect my friends with my fists, but if they have to go to the hospital, they will be well looked after. And like, you know, it's like I'm a monster and I'm trying, but I can't not be a monster.
Thank you and Cary are more similar than y'all would like to realize. And I think maybe we need to go into the training room and yell about it a little bit. And maybe you can both get out your feelings, because eventually we're going to have to fight something, and we can't have y'all fighting each other when we're trying to fight something bigger. Also, I mean, I don't want y'all to like hate each other. We're family.
I think that if Cary can focus on hating me, it makes her stronger out there. I think that she really pulls some strength from hating me. And I mean, she does so much. And she's so fucking strong, and she overcomes so much. And I feel so shitty about getting mad at her. If hating me makes her stronger, I can take that. I can be the thing that she hates.
I just don't think that that's helpful. And I don't think it's helpful to her or to them in the long run either. I think it is going to be better for them in the long run and for you in the long run to be honest with what's going on and work it out, because we have plenty of enemies and we have plenty of things that are super, super valid to hate and be pissed off at. And I just don't think it needs to be each other.
But like, it's right for her to hate. Them. It's right for them to hate me. Like, they should hate me.
I mean, they can be mad, they can be upset, they can be frustrated about the situation, sure. But I feel like you're doing a lot of the right things, not to like say that, it takes away everything, but it's, you very much could be someone who just continues that cycle. You could, I mean, plenty of people do. That's why the system persists. But I think that you do a lot to counterbalance some of that. And if more people in your situation did things like that, then maybe we could get somewhere better collectively.
My parents pay a lot more taxes than they think they do.
Oh, good. See, I think if Cary could understand how much you covertly fuck over your parents, that maybe they would understand that you're trying. I mean, they've done plenty of things that they regret. We all have.
Yeah, but my very existence is something I regret. Like,
Your very existence keeps us alive. So please don't regret that. I wouldn't
love
have made
you.
it this far without you. I love you too. We're going to figure it out. I think we just need to have the hard conversation, and it's going to be uncomfortable and awkward and nobody's going to love it, but I think it will come out the other side stronger and better for it. And it would be better for us to do it sooner and on our terms, and not in the middle of some godforsaken, I don't know what the hell the world's going to throw at us.
It's fucking scary out there.
Truly. And just getting scarier and weirder the more that we learn.
Yeah, that was some deep shit that we just learned.
Yeah. I'm kind of reeling about it. I don't even know where to go from here.
I would like to not be a hero anymore.
Yeah, I don't know that we get that choice at this point. Again, being given power we didn't necessarily ask for or deserve or earn, but now we have the responsibility of doing something better with it.
Okay. My back is starting to hurt anyway.
Yeah, let's go get a milkshake.
Half Jamocha, half chocolate.
Let's go. And we will go meet our friends.
Wiping the tears. Like,
Yeah.
Nif is going to be as strong looking as she can be. She's like
Fair.
powdering. I'm fine. I'm great. It's great. Head to the Arby's.
All right, you head
And-
into the Arby's. Go ahead.
Oh, I was just going to ask, like, what has Janus been doing? Tell me about
Honestly,
Janus.
I think that Janus has been oblivious to a lot of the undercurrents and overtones, and she's just been up to her ears in science and has had her nose in this book, puzzling out equations and formulas and stuff.
Cary's like
She's-
right next to Janus, just. So, when you say that this number is equal to a divided fraction, how do you divide a fraction?
Yeah, and then Janice is like super excited to explain it, and she's like, "Oh yeah, like you take the reciprocal and then you multiply them, you get the cross products, and but then she kind of like loses her train of thought as she moves on to the next thing in the book, just like moving super fast."
Yeah, y'all are having this moment. I wanted to back up. Nif, did you want to take a moment and use that moment between you and Callie to make a connection? I know you hadn't used your downtime actions yet.
Oh, no, I did use my downtime app.
You did?
Yes, I used one to try and make connections with Cary, which did not succeed, and I took another stress from. And then I started off the garden.
Right. Okay.
Yes, I started my long-term garden project.
Okay. Oh yeah, I
Yes.
had taken the carry thing as like that was just not a downtime action. But okay, I got you now.
I mean, I had
Yeah.
intended for it to be a downtime action.
Okay.
So I'm
Yeah.
I'm happy to stick with that.
And then Cary said, "Ew, gross," and left.
Totally fair. Just wanted to be sure.
Luckily.
Yeah.
Nif still has 2 links with herself.
Yeah. Oh, so you're in the Arby's. The edges of your friend circle is a little bit frayed at the moment. Yeah, you still have the offer from you still offered to help Jordan with the closing one of the portals so that her and her community can have a safer place without monsters. So that is the mission ahead of you. Christ on a cracker, sorry. Knocked my phone off the stand.
It's okay.
So yeah, you're in the RVs. Is there anything you're welcome to take the space, or we can move to the mission and do our engagement roll. It's up to you.
I think Cary's just having a great time listening to Janus talk about science stuff. Because it's like Janus's area of expertise, and they really enjoy whenever she gets to talk about that.
Just like sharing some curly fries, geeking out.
Mhm.
Nif is just being quiet. Being small, I think.
Mm.
Well, shall we go and close the portal?
Yeah. All right. We'll close on this scene in the Arby's, and let's do
Callie is
our.
just gonna make eyes with Janice, like, oh no.
All right, let's figure out our engagement roll.
Can I roll it?
That is tradition at this point.
Yes. We're gonna use one of the middle boys
All right.
because I want to leave it up to fate.
All right.
Dang it, that's a 5. Stop
Well,
rolling
Wait,
good.
don't we?
Hold
We have other dice.
Yeah, no,
Oh.
you get to roll a whole pool of dice. So you start with
Oh.
1 because there's
Yes.
always hope.
Mhm.
Is this mission particularly heroic or noble? Yes, it
I
is.
think so. Okay, I'll take another middle boy.
Does the mission's goal or methods reflect the worst parts of the protagonist? I'm gonna say no.
No.
Is the mission following through on details from the protagonist's investigation? Yes, it is.
Yes, it is. Okay,
that-
low boy.
We're up to 3. So does this mission determine the fate of a friend? Yeah, it does. It's Jordan's life you're helping out with. So are the troubles from the protagonist's mundane lives getting in the way of this mission? Yes. So that negates that one. So we're still at 3.
All right.
Are the protagonists acting rashly or on very little information? No, I don't think so. Does the mission's tier exceed? No. No. So we are at 3 dice.
Okay, awesome. Now I get to roll these bad boys. Go, bad boys, go. So what do I pick out of these guys? The highest or?
It is the highest.
Dang it. So it's a 4.
A 4.
I'm just happy it's no longer a 5 because I had rolled that originally.
Okay.
That was before the pool.
A 4 is a mixed result. You're in a risky position when the action starts. The plan is holding together, just barely. The protagonist will need to take steps right now to avoid disaster. Yeah. Let's do this. We only have a little bit of time left in this episode, and I would like to have full time for this mission. So we'll hang on to this result for the engagement roll. And I think we're going to call it just a little bit early tonight. We had a big episode with a lot of information, a lot of things to process. So I'm glad we took the space to do that. Yeah. So we're going to end the session here. We're going to go into our after show after we do our little outros here. You can find our after show at patreon.com/lanternlightadventures. It's always free to listen to, but we appreciate your patronage. So yeah, why don't we go around and tell everyone who you've been, what you've been up to.
Hello, my name is Chantel. My pronouns are they, them. I am not anywhere else. I am only here. I am always here. I've been here the whole time. So if you'd like to see me here again, you can find me here on Tuesday nights playing Girls by Moonlight. And otherwise, support all these amazing other people that I'm playing with.
Awesome. Elle.
Oh, right. It's me next. Hi, everyone. My name is Elle. I have been Elle. If you'd like to see if I will continue to be Elle, you can find me at SapphicSoulful or at SoulfulSaphic on these social medias. Today, I have been playing Cary Milan Evander Lyall, aka Lykos, who is getting radicalized and feeling like a monster. So every queer person's journey of self-discovery. Yippee. And you can find me here on Tuesdays playing Girl by Moonlight. You can find me over on the Bardic Inspiration Network. We alternate what we do. Sometimes we play our Power Rangers game, Power Rangers Lightspeed Reignited, on Mondays. We have Power Rangers, we have G.I. Joe, we have Transformer Pyramids. What more can you ask for? We have big hot buff demon dudes. Woo! And then alternatively, which is this coming up week, you can see us play our Tales of Exandria games. So that is Tales of Exandria, Swords of Byrodin on Monday, which is very fun. We're in a tournament arc right now, and also Silas Briarwood is kind of in love with our party leader, which is not great. Please get away from her, Silas. And we have been kicked out of Whitestone. Yippee! We are banned from Whitestone. It might have something to do with the fact that my character is the grandchild of Orthax. Whoopsies. And then we have Tales of Exandria Shadows of the Lost on Wednesday. We are fighting an evil cult. Gonna punch those guys real hard and also deal with our feelings and maybe end up in a big old polycule. You know how it goes. That's all I have to plug, I think.
Awesome. Dozens.
I'm Dozens. My pronouns are he, they. I have been playing time traveler and girl scientist Janus Quinn. And I have not been here the whole time, but the other place that I was still Dozens. And you can find me online on Mastodon and ActivityPub at Dozens at tiny.tilde.website. And you can see my tabletop role-playing games at dozens.itch.io.
Jaden.
Hello, party people. I'm Calliope Jaden. You can find me everywhere online as FatSapphicBro. They, them pronouns. I mostly hang out on TikTok and make a variety of random content. Mostly chicken videos these days. You know, whatever. As for streaming, I'm here on Twitch most Sundays, 7:30 to 9:30 p.m., most Tuesdays, 6 to 9 p.m., most Wednesdays, 2 to 5 p.m., all Pacific. Thanks.
Thank you. And I am Mal, aka Archangelic. You can find me here running Girl by Moonlight and The Heir of the Dragons. Those dates and times were already given by Soliloquy, so I won't go over them again. I'm also a player in the Old Gods of Appalachia game on this channel, which will be tomorrow, so feel free to join in with that. I am also doing professional GMing. If you want to play Girl by Moonlight, I have a Girl by Moonlight campaign up. It's currently scheduled for Thursday evenings. We will be playing a kind of anime inspired mech space adventure. So if you're interested in that, I am at startplaying.games/GM/archangelic. Yeah, so as always, I want to say that the VOD for this video will go up on our YouTube. You can find links to our YouTube. We're about to go in our after show again. Our after show is on patreon.com/lanternlightadventures. Always will be free, but we appreciate your patronage nonetheless. Oh, I want to say thank you to these wonderful players for joining me. Thank you for everyone who came and joined us on this journey. And as always, well, wait. I want to thank Polly, our producer. We could not do this without you. Thank you so much. And as always, we love you. We hope to see you next time. Go coconuts.
Go coconuts.
Go coconuts!
Go coconuts.